can you tell me about what is your role here at Rio+20?
I'm part of the IUCN gender team. As IUCN, we remind people at Rio+20 of the importance of environmental management, particularly with regards to livelihoods. Gender is part and parcel of that message, and we're making sure that gender equality and women's empowerment are at the heart of any decisions that are taken here at Rio.
And how can we communicate gender equality?
I think there are very many ways in which you can communicate gender. Here's the thing for me. As a woman, feminism allows you to break down gender stereotypes and see yourself as an individual. Men don't think about gender. So the challenge is to make men think about gender because it doesn't affect them directly, or they think it doesn't. And yet gender action is at the heart of any successful, effective action that we can take on sustainable development. If we disregard 50% of the population in our decisions are going to be watered down and only 50% as effective. Women have 80% of their consumption decisions at the household level that they take on a daily basis. If we want to really impact on environmental management, sustainable production and consumption and so forth, then really we have to take that part of and that power into account to drive sustainability.
Why do you think, after so many years of fighting, why are we still discussing about equality genders?
I think maybe there was some preconceived, or we're all prejudiced in so many ways. We're prejudiced about indigenous knowledge. We're prejudiced about the society that we've constructed has made us prejudiced about other people. One of those prejudices are gender. The gender movement has come about really strongly in the 50s and 60s and had a very particular message in terms of women empowerment. But we have now the opportunity to move to a different level. What is interesting is that we can take data, real scientific data, and make the case for gender and make the case for women's involvement in sustainability action. So I think that we're seeing a paradigm shift. Yes, it has been, we've been talking about it for a long time because it's been important, but I think the awareness now is more acute than what it's ever been in terms of sustainability and the links between gender and climate change, land degradation, water management, and so forth. So I'm looking forward to a new decade where gender, as I said, forms part and parcel of all the decisions that we take.
What do you think are the biggest challenges from now on?
Complacency and arrogance. We have a disconnect between what's happening in the negotiating room with what's happening in the Sustainable Development Dialogues, for example. The Sustainable Development Dialogues have come up with wonderful recommendations and wonderful debate on where we have to move as a common world to promote sustainable development. That is not in line with what we have in the negotiating rooms at all. Our own system that we've put in place to help us is tripping us at the moment in moving forward, and that is what I think one of the biggest challenges going forward is this disparate world, bringing them together again like we did in Rio even, and have a common vision and a common goal to move forward.
And what are your expectations about the discussion here?
I was not directly involved in the negotiations myself. We'll see what happens at the end of the week. We have some indicative direction in which the negotiations are going. I think there are some good outcomes from Rio. I think this whole institutional framework within which we operate is being addressed, and I think there has been some key progress that has been made in that regard. And I think if we have a stronger UN system that can call people together and serve the purpose that they were called to at the outset, I think we have a very optimistic outlook for the work that we have to do in the next 10 years.